So Tuesday was a good night, a really good night for Burnley.
Yeah, it was good, and then you look at the draw, and all I notice is that it seems like all the Premier League teams are going to be facing each other, and then we get a good game. We get a game that we can look forward to, but that's in November, so it's every 3 days, isn't it? So we go for the next game now.
It's good to see Johan back on Tuesday. Was he always intended to play 45 minutes?
Yeah, that was the plan. And with players who are returning usually from long-term injuries, you try and stay on schedule, and that's what we did.
He nearly scored. He could have scored.
Yeah.
He seemed very fit.
Yeah, and obviously a fit player is a happy player, so you get his first minutes back in, and but for us, I think it's key to just get him and players who've been in his situation, get them on the grass as much as you can. And every day they're out there with the team is a day you win towards them being available for a much longer period of time.
Is it a sign that the injury situation's getting a little bit easier?
Yeah, you're going to make me jinx it, innit? As soon as I admit to that, you know what's happening. I'll say this, I think it's the easiest way for us to have affordable transfers is to recover the players who haven't played much in previous seasons, and we still got Ashley Westwood to come, who will be a player will come again, and we've got Longy and we've got Twiney, so let's just make sure we keep those players fit, and then that could be some of the best business we do this summer as well.
It was 8 players in for the Carabao Cup, and they played well. They seemed to gel. Over 85% possession. It went well for you.
Yeah, but the main thing is, like, it's not so much this. For me, what I'm looking at is it was 8 different players, but you didn't see a different team or a different approach, and that's key for me. And there was a couple of very young players as well who were, like CJ, and it was good to give them some game time, but we're going to need them anyway. They're playing now. They played now in the League Cup, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these guys are also playing in the league this season.
It was a big week for Nathan Teller. 2 goals against Blackpool. He came on at half-time and did well on Tuesday. He could be a big player for you.
That's that's why I think we try and use the loan market in as what we think is as clever a way we can do it in. We've got a lot of players to replace because a lot of players left the club, and partly we could fund it, which puts us in a better position for the long term, but some of it is just not affordable for us, and then using the loan market is really important.
There was some surprise in Southampton when he was allowed to leave.
Yeah, well, we do have incredible pulling power.
Wigan on Saturday. It's another Lancashire derby or Northern derby. Be a good time to get back to winning ways in the league.
Yeah, but as I said, even after Wigan, there's still 40 games. So I've learned one thing is just consistency, and don't get hung up on results too much, and work towards getting your run, and then maintain. So the sooner we win, because we've deserved to win more than what we have, but it is what it is. But the sooner we win, the closer we'll get to hopefully put a run together. And then I said to you again, and I really believe in that, is this team has so much progression still in it, and it will take consistency.
Thanks, Vincent. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi Vincent.
Hi there.
We had Connor Roberts in with us before. He was sort of the first few weeks of the season.
I don't really look at who's got to be wide. I don't really look at too much making. For me, it's not so much the individual. It's always how we want to create spaces, and how we are using the players that we have. And in terms of what he's been doing so far, to me it seemed extremely natural, which is what you're looking for. And then but that's not setting anything in stone. There's a couple of games he was on the outside in the beginning. I think he did a bit more. There's a couple of games he was needed inside. There's a couple of games he was needed a little bit back. I know that there'll be a lot of Premier League managers looking now and thinking, hey, we're looking for these type of players, but they're very valuable in today's game, and Connor is one of those guys who can do it. And I'm not giving away where he's going to be next game. It could be wide, or it could be inside. It could be, but that's his strength. It's quite rare to have that, and he has that.
You spoke just then, and you spoke previously about sort of trying to find spaces during the game. And I know that comes a little bit with short passing from the keeper to defence and working those spaces and working the opposition, beating the opposition press. Is it important for everybody to get behind that style of play and accept that the odd mistake might happen, but ultimately there's going to be more positives than negatives from it?
No, but I think I'm more pragmatic than what people think. I'm extremely pragmatic, and we scored 2 goals from the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
It's just it's less theatrical, it's less firework, But we scored 2, so the net balance has to be positive, and as long as the net balance is positive, and you have the players who can do it, then the main thing for me is, and we created some very big chances from it in since the beginning of the season consistently. We're just not putting enough of them away yet. But I'm not looking at it in any other way than just does it make sense or not, and if it gives us a chance to create a chance, and we have to do it. It doesn't work like it's a little bit like with pressing. You don't say like half press, you don't say, and with this is the same. You can't just say like, oh, only build up when we're going to score.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. It's kind of, you work in positions, and there's a lot of decision making that comes into play, and there's a lot of reaction as well that comes into play when you lose the ball. But it's something where you do it because you think you can score, and sometimes the spaces are the short passing, but a lot of the times the spaces are as well the long passes. It's just, it depends on recognizing the picture.
And I guess what you've got the players capable of doing it as well, aren't you? That's the key. It's a system that suits a lot of the players you've got. Connor being one, Josh Cullen being another. There's plenty of them, Taylor.
Yeah, but it's something, like I said. The best thing I can say is we scored twice from it, 3 times maybe. I'm not sure. Twice, I'm sure. And you don't turn it on and off just whenever you want to do it. And a lot of the games in which we said, and I recognise that the second half against Blackpool was below standards for us, but every game in which we said we've not conceded many shots, or we've not conceded corners, it doesn't just happen by saying like, let's just toss this part of the game off, and let's just start being that team. And if it doesn't work that way. Either you have a general idea of what you want to do with the ball, and again you do it to try and score a goal, which we've done twice successfully, or you have to have another idea on how to score a goal, which but not in between.
Yeah. Just on the injury situation, obviously Johan, I presume, has come through okay from Tuesday night. Is Scott Twine any closer? Kevin Long, are they any closer to featuring this weekend or before the end of the month?
Well, he is closer, but the problem with the turnaround of the games is every 3 days you get to ask me the questions.
I know, yeah, I'm sorry.
we should do it once a week. We get medicals, and then once a week we get transfers. So we just make sure it's never on the same day. So yeah.
After next week, I won't be able to ask you any transfer stories anyway.
Fair
so
enough.
I'll get those out of the way next.
Fair enough.
How do you sort of assess the situation? Is there still gaps to fill, do you feel, in the squad? Are you still sort of actively looking for new players?
I think our numbers are healthier now, especially with the return of guys like Johan who've been injured for a long time. So our numbers are healthier, but it's professional football, and until the transfer window is finished, you don't settle. You see if you can improve the team, and but what you don't do as well is you don't. I think as long as we don't, we can't. we said about Burnley being a healthy club, which is really something I like, because many clubs you go to has never been healthy, so you can't ever give them a feeling like, well, that's the difference between being healthy and not. With Burnley, people know what it feels to support a healthy club, so we've got to make sure that all the business we do is something that we can, take care of on the long term, and we'll keep looking for good deals and players that can improve the team. And if we can't find them, then so be it. We'll go again.
Do you think if the window shut in 5 minutes, you'd be sort of satisfied with what you've got there in terms of competition and depth and quality?
Look, I believe a lot in the progress that this team can still make. So if you told me, look, Vinny, this is the team you have for the rest of the season, I wouldn't even bat an eyelid. I'd go to war with them. I have no problem, because I know they can still get a lot better. And but as long as the transfer window is open, I think it's our duty as well. It's our job to make sure that we make this team the most competitive possible within our means.
We spoke then about Nathan Teller, and you've got Ian Matson and Taylor Howard-Bellis on loan as well. Is that key as well to make the most of the loan market? Obviously, it's less of a commitment in the sense that they're not signing 3, 4, 5 year deals, and we've seen in the Championship before how successful loan signings can have a big impact.
Well, the reason why these loan signings can be important in a season is because you just can't afford them. Most teams in the Championship can't afford Nathan Teller, or most teams can't afford Taylor and on a permanent, and Ian. So you substitute the long term a little bit for the short term, but as you've seen, when it's the right talent, then it makes the team stronger.
That leads me nicely onto my weekly name. Is Cameron Archer a player you've looked at Aston Villa? Is he someone who you think could add to the squad, or is that wide of the mark?
No, I mean, there's a number of players where you can inquire about, and then these type of players, we depend entirely on whether the original club decides to let the player go. So there's a few players we don't think will be allowed to go, but these type of players, they play Premier League level. We just expect, we're open to definitely look at opportunities of that nature, but I can't name you him as one name, because the clubs have not even. The clubs have not given us signals that the players are available, so it's no point in discussing them.
Have you got a goalkeeper close at the moment?
Have we got a goalkeeper close?
As in close to signing?
Close to signing, that's a big difference, because close by, there's a few in the building.
Or over there, Close to signing, a new goalkeeper.
Yeah, it might be, but with these things, you wait on final details. What was it again? The ink to be dry on the paper, and that's not the case yet, so... 24 hours too soon.
That's always the case. After next week, Vincent, I promise you there'll be no more transfer questions.
Brilliant.
So. We'll get back to medicals.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cheers.